Welcome to $5 Movie Bin, a series where I talk about movies that I found in the $5 movie bin at Walmart. Today I'm going to be reviewing Dune, but not the good Dune, the Dune from 1984, directed by David Lynch, of all people. This movie is a pretty strange one, and not for the regular reasons that David Lynch movies are strange. Based on the book being pretty not normal and having a lot to do with dreams and inhaling substances, you'd think that he would be like the perfect guy for the job. Well, there are some parts of this movie where I think you can very much see his talent on display. My favorite bits of the films were the dream sequences of the future and whatnot. The repeated shot of the water dripping and the hand like coming towards you was pretty cool and interesting. There were a few goofier, campier moments that give it some charm, whether that was intended or not. The floaty flat guy was pretty fun. I liked a lot of the strange costumes and the hairstyles, and some of the bad CGI was, well, pretty bad, but it had some charm to it. What doesn't work with this adaptation, as opposed to the Denis Villeneuve version, is that the source material is just too long to adapt into one movie. There's like no time to flesh out characters or really build on ideas. It feels like the movie's like on autopilot almost, just kind of passing through the beats of the story. And the story here is both rushed over and moving at an incredibly slow pace. There's long scenes with a lot of dialogue, a lot of exposition. I wouldn't call this a boring movie really, because I didn't feel bored at any point. I would describe this as a sleepy movie, because during some of those long scenes, my ADHD brain will be wandering a bit. There were a few times in the movie where my eyelids started feeling a little heavy, but I wouldn't call it boring because boring movies are a different level of aggravating. The thought of watching this again doesn't fill me with dread, so it wasn't that bad. Like I said, it feels like this movie is really taking its time, but then when the Atreides house is attacked and they end up in the desert, an hour and a half has gone by. That's most of the movie. There's only 40 minutes left. For a movie called Dune, there's just not enough desert scenes. Denis did a great job of making the desert like a big thing in the movie and a really cool environment. While in this movie, we mostly just spend time in flatly lit rooms. Like I said, lots of dialogue and exposition. That being said, when we actually get to the desert, it's pretty cool. Nice orange color, great looking worms. The worms are probably my favorite part of the movie, actually. I don't know how they did it, but it looks very practical and convincing. The scene where Paul rides the worm is rightly awesome, except for one goofy cut that kind of takes you out of the movie for a second. It's going towards the worm. Attaches, whatever. And then all of a sudden he's just up there. Look. Attaches the thing. Worm. Bloop. It's so goofy. He just kind of teleported. Like, look. He's just up in the air. Bloop. Something else I appreciate is leaning into the weirder aspects of the book. The new one hinted at it, but it did not have the prophecy child thing. Although, like I said before, in this movie, it really could have been more fleshed out because she was barely in it, but it was a pretty weird aspect that I appreciated them putting in there at least. Near the end, for the sake of not making the movie too long, it kind of just montages through a lot of the story, and then we arrive at the end. It's a very bizarre structure. Most of the movie is setting up the rest of the movie, and then the last little bit, it all kind of just happens. It's not quite as bad, but it's almost the structure of Fantastic. Overall, this is kind of just an oddity of a movie. It really stands out among David Lynch's filmography as being not as good and just kind of silly. There's not a whole lot more to say about it. It's Dune 1984. It's not very good, but it's kind of fun. So overall, was this DVD worth $5? Well, if the actual DVD wasn't a piece of trash, yeah, it probably would be. The picture is so small. Like half my TV is just black screen. You can barely see it. Screw that. Not worth $5. Well, see you next time, watcher of this video. Have a good Dune.